Did you know that indoor plants can actually help purify your air inside your home? While they can't necessarily remove everything from your air, they definitely improve your indoor air quality. But plants, just like anything else, can also impact the indoor air quality negatively if we don't use them in the right way. Choosing a toxin-free way to care for your air purifying houseplant isn't just about greener leaves. It's about creating a cleaner, healthier home for your family. The products we use indoors matter, and when we opt for homemade, organic, and plant-based solutions, we actually lower our exposure to harmful chemicals and support a more balanced, breathable environment. So really, the trick is to use indoor plants with a strategy to make sure that they're actually helping your indoor air quality instead of adding things like mold and toxins to your space. One of the ways you can do this is by using fertilizers that don't contain any sort of chemicals or toxins. Welcome back. I'm Amanda. I am a building biology practitioner, a certified home inspector, and a healthy home expert. I'm the owner and creator of Healthy House on the Block, where I work to help you create an indoor space that is free from toxins and actually supports your health and wellness and helps your body heal rather than slowly burdening it down. So today I am excited to share with you some ways that you can strategically keep indoor houseplants and especially air purifying houseplants in your space and how to care for them in a way that won't introduce toxins to your home, and it'll actually help improve the indoor air quality instead. The truth is that many conventional plant fertilizers can be very toxic to your indoor air, and it's even ones that are marked indoor safe. They can contain synthetic nitrates, phosphates, and petroleum-derived ingredients. So we're going to look at everything that truly matters when it comes to the ingredients in these fertilizers. So there was actually a 2021 study that was published in Environmental Science and Technology, and it found that volatile organic compounds, VOCs, you may have heard it before, from chemical fertilizers and pesticides can actually build up in enclosed spaces, and they are a huge contributor to indoor air pollution. Research also shows that chemical residues from fertilizers can bind to your household dust. And so what this means is we're actually inhaling and ingesting these chemical fertilizers on a daily basis. And this is especially true of children and pets. You may be very familiar with body burden, but essentially the continuous low level exposure to these chemicals like ammonium nitrate, synthetic growth regulators, can actually contribute to your body's toxic load, also known as body burden, and it's potentially affecting your hormone balance, your respiratory health, and more. If you're new to the idea of air purifying houseplants being beneficial to your health, let me give you a quick overview on why houseplants aren't just for aesthetics anymore. So first and foremost, air purification is a huge benefit of indoor houseplants. According to NASA's Clean Air Study, houseplants like spider plants and pothos and peace lilies can all remove common indoor pollutants such as formaldehyde, benzene, different VOCs. Now, they don't reduce them completely and fully, but they do drastically improve the indoor air quality. There's also dust reduction. So there was a 2019 study in the Building and Environment magazine, and it confirmed that interior plants can actually reduce airborne dust up to 20%. And I wouldn't want to forget to let you know that there are definitely mental health perks. Research done by a university in Japan found that even a small indoor plant on your desk can actually reduce anxiety levels and improve your focus. Have you joined my community yet? Inside the Healthy Home community, we are adding new members and new experts every single day. Not only is this a great place to ask questions and get your answers right away from professionals, but it's also a place where you can connect with other health-minded homeowners. If you're wondering if your home is healthy or not, then you have to get my new resource, the Healthy Home Checkup. It's a self-guided quiz and assessment that helps you figure out just how healthy your space is. And it's all inside the Healthy Home community waiting for you. Just head to the video description below where I have the Healthy Home community link. I can't wait to see you in there. Before we even talk about fertilizers, it is essential to master plant hydration in a really healthy way, especially if you want to keep mold and pests at bay. So first things first, we want to mist instead of soak. Use a spray bottle to gently mist the leaves and soil, especially in drier seasons. You can do this daily. Essentially, water buildup leads to mold. It can lead to mildew, fungus, and fungus gnats. Always empty excess water from the trays and choose pots that have drainage to better facilitate this. Great way to water your plants is to let water sit out for 24 hours before using it. We don't want to use cold water and shock their roots, and we don't want to use warm water. This can off-gas chlorine if you use tap water. And then always make sure that you're using a pot that has proper drainage. So use something that has a basin underneath it to catch water if you have holes in the bottom of your pot, but make sure that the water always has a way to get out, or you can do this with drainage rocks if you don't have a drainage hole. Having plants inside means that you can also have gnats and mites and different kinds of bugs inside because maybe the water in the pot is not draining or the soil is just too damp, but there are ways to get rid of these that don't include any sort of chemicals or toxins. This first spray is one of my favorites. You use a few drops of essential oils. Use distilled water when you're going to fill your spray bottle, and then you can mist both soil and leaves every few days to get rid of these bugs. Another alternative that I like that we all have in our kitchen is to use 1 part vinegar and 3 parts water. Again, try to use distilled water. This will have fewer minerals that can become problematic to the soil, and they can also encourage mold and mildew growth. And then you'll just spray the soil directly with this concentrated solution, and it will help prevent gnats, bugs, and other things from living in your soil and on your plants. Mold and root rot are signs that your plant is really in distress. And so before adding any fertilizer, we need to treat these issues and obviously treat them naturally with something that is toxin free. So tea tree oil is a great way to prevent and treat root rot and mold in your potted soil. It's great for fungus prevention as well. You'll just use 25 drops of tea tree oil, fill the rest of the bottle with water, distilled water, and you can spray it on the soil of your plant. If there is visible mold growth in the soil or somewhere on your plant, you can try rubbing alcohol. You would put a little bit on a cotton swab, and then you would just dab that mold with the cotton swab to try to remove it. Baking soda is another way you can treat root rot with your plants, and it's also a great way to prevent future fungus and mold growth. You would take 1 teaspoon of baking soda and a few drops of maybe a natural dish soap, and then put some water in it, and then you will just spray it on the affected soil. Finally, you could use hydrogen peroxide. You would want 1 part 3% hydrogen peroxide to 4 parts water, so we want to dilute it quite a bit. And then you'll spray it, but then you have to wipe it off. So this may not be for soil or a spot that's really difficult to wipe, because we do want to get that off of the plant eventually, but it's really good to treat anything topically. Another way you can improve the growth of your plant is to use green tea. So the tannins actually help oxygenate the soil and stimulate root growth. So what you'll do is you'll take a tea bag, let it steep in a quart of water. Once it's cooled, you would just use it like any plant fertilizer. Another favorite of mine is magnesium sulfate. It promotes lush and green growth with your plants. And so you'll mix 2 tablespoons in a gallon of water, and then you'll use it as a mist. And you can do this weekly with Epsom salt because it is a very safe alternative. And then 2 bonuses for you. This essential oil growth spray is great for really stimulating your plant to grow. It is drops of essential oils, so lemongrass, geranium, and frankincense oil. Mix it with water in a spray bottle, and then just mist the leaves and the soil weekly. So we're not saturating anything. It's just giving it a little boost. And then my favorite is horticultural charcoal. So this actually improves drainage, it retains nutrients, and it removes impurities from the soil. And it is a must-have for any air purifying plant. When you're repotting or when you're starting a new plant, it is essential. And then finally, a few tips for your plants. First and foremost, let them be. Avoid moving your plants too often. They really need time to adjust to light and humidity levels. You'll also want to prune them regularly, so remove dead leaves or stems, and this will help prevent decay and reduce pest risk. It will also keep mold out of your plants and out of your home. And then finally, use these natural fertilizers on a schedule. So once or twice a month is usually enough during growing seasons. Some plants do like to go dormant for a little bit, and then I would just let them be. So you don't have to do these all the time or even weekly, but it's a great thing to add to your routines. I hope you were able to take at least one thing from this week's video and apply it in your own space. If you found this video helpful, definitely give this a like and be sure to subscribe to my channel because I am here every single week with new tips and new ideas on how to create an indoor space that truly supports your health and wellness rather than burdening it down.